Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Phillies Fastball. The Phillies won, the Marlins nothing. They have won 7 of their last 9 following a 10-game losing streak. Bryce Harper, solo home run. It's the only run they needed last night because Aaron Nola, 6 innings, no runs. The old Nola coaster was on the way up last night, and it's his first game with 6 innings, no runs, and no walks. We talked about walks with him yesterday. June 5th, 2024. Oscar, Jeff, it was vintage Aaron Nola last night, and the Phillies needed it. They got 1 run, and he helped make it hold up.
It was very special. I mean, that was the Aaron Nola that we've seen in the past coming back to life. Hopefully the magic with Stubby made it happen. I mean, the combination of those two have done it in the past. And look, very smart of Mattingly and the staff deciding to bring Stubby to catch him. And look, that was magical yesterday.
Yeah, look, that was the best performance I've seen of Aaron Nola since 2023. I mean, since 2024, we're going to be honest. 6 you needed that last night because this team was not hitting. They got 1 hit from Bryce Harper. That was a home run. That was, by the way, 370 career home runs. Congrats, Bryce Harper. But outside of what Oscar's got highlighted there, Bryce Harper and Adolis Garcia, you really didn't have much to work with last night. I mean, this was a pitcher's duel. Junk was great. Nola was great. Look, I got to give credit to Nola. I got to give credit to the bullpen, too. Tanner Banks did his job. You weren't sure what you were going to get. Jose Alvarado did his job. You weren't sure what you were going to get. Brad Keller's still a little shaky, but he did get the save. So the bullpen did their job. The bullpen's been top 12, top 13 in ERA, top 10 in FIP since Mattingly's taken over. They're pitching better. Starting pitching's in the top 5 in every major category that at least I consider. Since Don Mattingly's taken over, the pitching has been carrying this team, guys, and that's why they won 6 and 7.
Absolutely.
And you're supposed to hopefully get Duran back so Keller can go back to the 8th inning, Duran in the 9th. But you're right. You look at Banks' ERA, 6.08, Alvarado, 6.17. You hope those things start to lower and level out and they can get this bullpen back together. The starting pitching starting to come around. But, guys, as Jeff, you just mentioned, you had 5 hits from Harper and Garcia, 2 hits the rest of the night, 1-0 game. Yes, it's nice you won, but, again, the offense continues to be an issue. We got 2 guys, Bryson Stott, 198, Alec Boehm, 157. I guess you got to ask, how much longer can they stick with Boehm? I know he had a bad April last year, but he started to turn the page in May. How long do they give Boehm struggling the way that he is?
Look, to me, they become platoon players. That to me is a way around this. When you look at the last week, Alec Boehm is hitting last week, okay, 158. Alec Boehm 158, and then Bryson Stott 143. I mean, I know Bryson Stott hit 2 home runs, and I know that Miami, he has the number on Miami, but the reality is, if this guys continue hitting that way, they're hitting their way out of this team. I mean, you cannot continue with those 2 prime positions producing at this level. That's the bottom line. And Sosa needs to play more. Sosa over the last week in 3 games, he hit 333. I give more of a chance to Sosa than the way he's getting.
Yeah, I definitely think Amundo Sosa should be platoon with Bryson Stott. And when Bryson Stott plays against a righty, maybe that's when you put him in for Alec Boehm. You find a way to play Amundo Sosa. I mean, really, that's your only option. I can't think of any option you play, right? Felix Reyes can't play second. He can't play third. So what do you do? It seems like it's got to be more Amundo Sosa.
I was going to say the problem there, and you guys can speak on this, is you expose Sosa more, then he struggles. So they got to figure something out here because Boehm's 157. You can't have a 157 guy in your lineup every single day. Otto Kemp's struggling at AAA. He's not a great defensive player. So it doesn't look like they have a lot of options here other than maybe Boehm turning this thing around. But does anybody see any evidence that Boehm is ready to start? And I've been a Boehm guy throughout his career. I like Boehm's approach and the way that he goes gap to gap. He doesn't strike it, but he just looks lost.
And you know what's crazy? I think mentally, he's in a better place right now. I mean, there's a lot of off the field stuff going on with him, but I've seen him the last couple of days before they went to Miami. I thought he was in a better spot. So maybe that's out, but the production's not there. This is what I want to ask you guys. I know Carter Kieboom's on the 40-man roster, and I know what we saw of him at the major league level is not very good, but this guy was a top 50 prospect at one point. You would have to maneuver a couple things, but do you guys think maybe he's the solution?
I don't think he's the solution. I've seen him play. I don't think he's the solution. I saw him when he played for the Washington Nationals, and I mean, they try him everywhere, and the guy couldn't. I mean, he couldn't hit. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to hit, and that's what we need. I mean, Alec Bohm has been playing good defensively. We talked about this yesterday. Look, we're 6-1 with Mattingly. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Donnie Baseball have done his part, but the reality is that the pitching is carrying the way right now. The starting pitching since Wheeler came back. I mean, has been our card. We've seen Luzardo turn around. I mean, two major starts. Christopher, I want to see more consistent from him, but the reality is that outside of Harper, which I mean, you got to give it to Harper. Harper he's playing.
Have a great year.
He's played really well this year. I mean, anybody else in that lineup, I mean, it's up and down. I mean, Crawford is now heating up again a little bit, which is great to see. But Turner, I mean, hitting 236. I mean, this was a 300 hitter last year. I mean, Schwarber goes in this spell that he struck out for 3 straight games and hit 2 home runs in one game, and then his OPS skyrockets again into the 900. So it's fascinating to look at.
This is where Don Mattingly is going to be tested, right? Because whenever we would ask Rob Thompson about maybe giving these guys a sit or a reset, he'd go, well, I'm going to point to the numbers on the back of the baseball card. Does Don Mattingly think the same way? Is Don Mattingly going to give these guys maybe 10 games, the 10 games they wanted, and say, hey, you're not performing even though we're winning? That's what I'm curious about. So I've seen some of the changes they're making on the field, off the field when I was there last week. I'm curious to see what happens this week with this team. But I got to give the players a lot of credit here. They thought they could win 7 or 8 of these 10 games in this stretch. And right now they're 6-1. You win 2. That's 8-2. That's what they thought they were going to do.
You just said some of the things off the field, Jeff, that have changed. What are some of the little things off the field that you are noticing that maybe is helping them out? Because I thought Bryce Harper said something pretty interesting last night that was an eye-opening. We'll get to that in a second. But what are some of the things that you're seeing different that they're doing with Mattingly that maybe they weren't doing with Thompson that is helping them turn the corner?
Well, if you're watching like batting practice, they're spending the extra 5 minutes bunting, squeezing, doing PFPs. Don Mattingly's, it's little things too. Like I noticed this as a medium. Rob Thompson would talk right after the clubhouse opens, right? Right when the clubhouse closes, Don Mattingly's not talking until 30 minutes after. You know why? Because I think Don Mattingly's at first base. I think that's what he's working with stuff with them, And again, this the whole Nick Castellanos thing. Well, I want to hear from an actual major league player. I believe that's a bunch of BS, but that's what some guys maybe respond to. I don't know. I can't speak for them, but it is different seeing Don Mattingly play first base. It is different seeing Don Mattingly kind of talk to these guys. And not that Rob Thompson didn't do that. It's just it's a different approach. It's a different mindset. It's just little things that I'm noticing. And again, different strokes for different folks, but overall, though, it's still the same message. It's still the same demeanor, the same clubhouse.
There is a big part of this that, to me, is critical for Mattingly based on his story and who he is and what Donnie Baseball is all about, which is hitting. I want to see his ability to be able to teach hitting to this guy so they can have a better approach at the plate versus chasing so many pitches. And that is a big issue right now. I was not too keen of the comments that he made the last couple of days saying, I don't know anything about pitching. And yesterday comparing Greg Maddux with Aaron Nola. Let me put it this way. You got to see Greg Maddox pitch. I mean, that guy was, out of this world.
And you know what? I don't believe that either when Don Mattingly says that, because you were a 300 hitter in your career. You definitely know something about pitching.
You know something about pitching. So I want to see him.
Well, just for the listeners, they're referring to Jim Salisbury asked, what has he seen differently in the last couple starts for Luzardo? And he said, quite frankly, I don't know. I don't know anything about pitching. So he said he couldn't tell if it was a mechanical thing. I said, could you imagine if Rob Thompson said, I don't know anything about pitching?
Yeah, exactly. They would have crushed him for that.
He would have been absolutely roasted for a comment like that.
I think Rob Thompson, and again, I know it's been a week, but I just feel like he had the pulse of everything. He knew every little detail about everybody and every little thing. I don't know if Don Mattingly knows that or not. Maybe Don Mattingly is focusing on the hitting and Caleb Cotham's focusing on the pitching. That's what I like to find out over the next couple weeks.
Well, this is something
sorry, Mike. This to me is very similar to how the Eagles run their ship, where Mattingly should focus on the hitting, and then you have Cotham focusing on the pitching. That's the way kind of I see it.
Well, Harper said something last night, which I thought was pretty unbelievable. He says, quote, I think we were all just waiting for that ball to drop, waiting for something to happen. If Topper was going to get fired or he wasn't, it was just kind of, we need to get over this hump and get through this. I mean, it's almost as if they were like, are you going to fire this guy so we can move on or what? Like,
you know what?
That was a pretty unbelievable.
I'll back Harper on this. Just speaking to players, it felt like they were waiting for that shoe to drop, right? It was like, look, we don't want this guy to lose his job, but they felt like something was going to happen. Like they could sense it, and they could definitely sense it during that Braves series.
Well, how about trying to save the guy's job by playing better?
Exactly. I agree 100%.
You know what? I'm telling you, these guys chalked it up as the Cubs were hot and the Braves were hot, and there was nothing they could do.
So outside, I mean, Dombrowski came out and said, we look at 40 games, that they weren't thinking about changing the manager. So did the players not take that into account to say, we don't believe you, something's either going to happen here or it's not? Like, that comment.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Ooh, that comment
really
to me.
That's what it was.
That's very unfair. To be honest with you, that's very unfair and very unprofessional of players to think that way. Look, it's what is it, a threat on Topper after what he did for the team? I mean, look, as I told you before, they didn't want him to
lose his job.
If you wanted to make this move, you should have made this move last September or last October.
Well, they should have, but
that's when you should have made the move, not now. I mean, you gave the guy another year to be able to prove himself. You started 9-19, then you were going to the soft part of the schedule. When you needed to, you were not facing the Cubs or the Braves that we said before, and the guy loses a job, and now, okay, great. Hey, the only one that is hitting is Harper, by the way. The only one that is hitting is Harper.
Yep. And I try to tell people this. Players win and lose games, not the manager.
The other thing, he did not have the benefit of the doubt to have Wheeler in the rotation, okay?
Correct.
I mean, Topper did not have the benefit of the doubt of having Wheeler. So since Wheeler have come in, this rotation have completely turned around.
He also didn't have this Jesus Luzardo or this Aaron Nola.
Exactly.
I think one of the big things, and Oscar, you talked about it yesterday.
But did Nola having 8 days off help? Nola had 8 days off.
Yeah, he did.
Sure, but I'm saying, again, listen, the team's turned it around a little bit for whatever reason, but one of the reasons is Luzardo, his last 2 starts have been excellent. Nola, excellent here. You've got Wheeler back here. I still don't feel great about this lineup. Yes, they have scored runs, but I don't feel like, they have turned the corner. Bones coming around. None of that looks like it's happening.
Have they scored runs on Saturday? They have 1 hit, and on Monday they scored 1 run.
And last night they scored 1 run. Yes, I know. So I agree. And by the way, the Phillies are 6-1 since firing Rob Thompson. The team is allowing pitching is allowing a 239 batting average and 2.6 runs per game after allowing a 286 batting average and 5 points. Pitching has been outstanding. But guys, I still do not feel this offense is finally turned a corner. But because you're right, they're playing the Marlins, they're playing the Giants. This is not top level competition right now.
But by the way, this is why the Phillies are 6-1. ERA, this is starting pitching stats. ERA 1.85, third in baseball. FIP, 2.17, first. Ks per 9, 10.85, second. Innings pitched, 39, third. All of a sudden, you got guys going into the 6th and 7th inning. Luzardo's done it. Sanchez has done it. Nola pitched 6 innings. I mean, look, outside of the Andrew Painter game on Saturday, you've really gotten excellent starting pitching, and Painter battled just to even keep them in the game. So really,
here's the point. Here's the point. We know the pitching. We know the quality of the pitching staff. This team was built on starting pitching. That was our core. Then we have Johan Duran. By the way, he's coming today, but he's coming back today, which is great news for us. So we had conceptually a better bullpen, or at least the back end of the bullpen should have been better this year than the last year. But we run it back on the hitting, and the reality is, what is this team? I mean, what this team right now? We were top 10 last year. We're not even close. I mean, we're on the bottom. I mean, look, what we are in terms of run scores, we're 26 in baseball right now. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, and it has to improve.
By the way, Oscar, that 40 games that's coming up, so you have a good indicator of what this team's going to be.
Yeah.
Well, tonight they're going to take on an athletics team that I think if you're not paying attention, you just think, they're playing in Sacramento.
First place.
This is a good team. This is a good team. Nick Kurtz reached base 28 straight, longest active on-base streak in Major League Baseball. You talk about young talent that is performing. The Athletics have that, something the Phillies do not have right now. They've got some exciting offensive guys. Luis Severino against Christopher Sanchez tonight. And, Oscar, you've got the Severino numbers highlighted. This could be another rough night for the Phillies offense.
Yeah, 2-0 Severino against the Phillies with a 2.84 ERA. He's pitched a couple of times. He started a couple of games at Citizens Bank Park, 1-0, 2.08. Harper has I remember broadcasting this. I mean, when Harper hit the home runs in the postseason when he was with the Mets. So, look, Harper has his number, but the reality is that Severino has done really good here. The good thing is we're going with Christopher Sanchez. What version we're going to get of Christopher Sanchez? Christopher Sanchez is much better at home than away.
Yeah.
That has been his career number. So I'm expecting a big, big game from Christopher Sanchez tonight.
You know what?
Yes.
The starting pitching lines up for the Phillies in this series. If you got Sanchez, you got Wheeler back to back. And look, the A's are countering a good punch here. Severino and Springs. We know the Phillies do against lefties. But to me, this is where how can I say it? Thursday is the wild card, right? Because you don't know what you're going to get with Andrew Painter. You can get good Andrew Painter. You can get Andrew Painter with no command. Andrew Painter walking everybody. It's, I'm curious to see how Thursday's game goes.
I think you're going to see everything from Andrew Painter. You're going to see some innings and some at bats of hitters where he looks absolutely filthy, and others where you're going to see inconsistency. That's the reality of being a rookie.
By the way, Sanchez allowed multiple runs in each of his last 5 starts, tied for the longest in his career, 7-16 in 40 starts when he has allowed multiple runs over the last 3 seasons. He was 19-0 in 30 starts when he allows 1 or no runs. Obviously, he's pitched really well, but that has been the problem with Sanchez this year. He hasn't been nearly as consistent as the guy that we have come to know.
Yeah, that's a reality. I mean, Christopher Sanchez. I mean, when you look at his base hits, and the combination of base hits and base on balls, he has not had the command of his pitches that he needed. And as we spoke yesterday, I mean, his changeup is still elite in the sense that the batting average against it has gone to 238 from 170 last year. But both his sinker as well as his slider, I mean, are nowhere to be found. Hitters are hitting above 300 in both of those pitches. So he needs to find his way. I just have a feeling that him together, Citizens Bank Park, seeing what Luzardo has done, seeing what Wheeler has done, and what Nola did yesterday, I think this guy's going to have a hell of a game today.
All right, boys, the Phillies take on the A's, the Athletics, if you will. They will be home for this series coming up here, so Phillies trying to get back on track. And by the way, they've been overshadowed a little bit by the Flyers and the Sixers playing, so maybe this has kind of been a good thing for them to go under the radar, but they have the night to themselves tonight, right? If you've been watching the Flyers and the Sixers playoffs and haven't got a chance to kind of check in, they have kind of got themselves some wins here. I don't know that they've played better baseball, though. That's the question, guys. Are we watching a team that's winning games by playing better baseball, or are they just winning games but still not playing better baseball?
I think the pitching is leading the way. You see what Wheeler has done, 2.45 ERA, Sanchez at 2.90. Now Nola has, basically raised a run yesterday with that performance. He's now at 5.06. Luzardo at 5.09. Look, we've seen significant better pitcher. If these four guys can hold this team, we're going to be in good shape. Because the hitting is going to carry you. Look, you won 1-0 yesterday. It doesn't get. We didn't hit anything. Harper was the only one hitter, and together with Garcia, that was about it. And you were able to win the game. So if, for example, Sanchez today is, only allows a run or two, you have a great chance to winning that game because the pitching is carrying the way. And today, a very important piece of the equation. Duran is coming tonight. Duran is coming back from the disabled list. That's going to be huge for this bullpen. Huge.
All right, well, we got another Phillies fastball segment tomorrow. Join us back for that. Phillies have the night to themselves. Flyers and Sixers are off. 6-1 under Donnie Baseball. The pitching has led the way, and obviously the Phillies looking to stay hot. They haven't closed a lot of gap, though, in the National League East with the Braves, but got to keep stacking wins, boys. Got to keep stacking wins.
Hi to Luis and Darwin, dear friends of the family. So, hey, let's keep it going. And look, the best is yet to come. So hopefully we continue. Donnie Baseball continue to do his magic. So, hey, by the way, Topper, when he started, he was 8-0. Mattingly 6-1, so he hasn't topped Topper yet.
Well, hey, listen, we're all rooting for Donnie Baseball. I don't care who's managing the team because, as Jeff said, the players have to play better. It's not the manager that wins and loses these games. And you got a good streak of games here. By the way, the Braves did lose last night, so the Phillies did close within 9. So they're under double digits at least in that category. All right, Phillies fastball segment is back again tomorrow. Make sure everybody out there likes and shares and subscribes to the show. We go live every day at noon on the social media platforms. Oscar, Jeff, we'll do it again tomorrow.
Go Phils.